Okay, now that merges together the values of each of the arrays, these, with the values at the corresponding position, useful when you have a separate data sources that are coordinated through matching array indices. Use with apply to pass in an array of arrays. If you are working with matrix of nested arrays, this can be used to transpose a matrix. So if you look at this as a matrix, I have it here as this might be this might make much more sense. uh, anyway, so this is the same example that they have. So array of arrays, and let me show you what this will return. Oops. Yes, sorry. So node zip.js. So this value is now inside an array with 30 and true. This. Now Larry with 40 and false, and Curly with 50 and false. So basically you can think about it as a way to convert rows into columns into rows. So as you can see, we just flipped the matrix. So rows are now columns. I think this one is really interesting. I actually I remember one of the lead code problems was requires you to do something like this to find the answer, which I find really interesting. If I remembered what the problem is, I will put the link in the description. But anyway, so how we can do this is first we create a function that accepts arrays with the split operator, and now I'll define a variable called res, just an array. This is the return. This is what I will return. Now, if you think about it, what will happen? Let me comment this. What will happen when the number of columns in one of them is bigger? So, for example, this one has 4 columns, but the rest of them has 3 columns. So let me run it. So as you can see, for this column, the the corresponding values on each row are undefined. So it will handle this case, but it will place undefined in them. And in JavaScript, these cases are really easy. So because if you're trying to access a value inside an index that does not exist in the array, it will just return undefined. It won't throw an error. So this is really nice in JavaScript. Now, first thing, what we need to do for each column, go to the row, start from the first row and start getting the first element from each row. Then go to the second column, and for each column we have, go to the second value in each row and get it, put inside an array. Now for the third column, go to the third row, for the third column, go to the each row and get the value for the third column from each row. For the fourth column, go to each row, get the value at the fourth column for each row. So first thing we need to find is the maximum number of columns we can find here, because you can't just get it directly. You need to find the length for each row and find the maximum length. This is the maximum length of the columns. So this is the value that the upper loop will start from. So I can create a variable called max column count will be equal to math.max, and I will pass to it arrays.map. So I'll call it d.length. So just convert these arrays to their length. So this will be 4, 3, 3, and return the max. So max usually take 2 values, but you can pass a whole array like this. So this will return the maximum value inside the array. So in our case, this will be 4. Okay, now we need to loop. So array, I like sometimes to do it like this. So length, the max column count. So for each column, we have extract the value from each row at the corresponding column and put them inside an array, push it inside res, right? As simple as that. So I don't care about the value, and I care about the index. I will call it column. Since this represents the number of columns, sorry, like this. Now I'll define a variable called order, just an empty array. Now arrays for each, which by the way represent the rows, if you think about it, because this is the first row, the second row, the third row. Yes, now also I don't care about this, I will call it underscore. I care about the index, I will call it row. Now holder dot push the array of the current row at the current column, right? Or the current row at the corresponding column, something like this. Now res dot push the holder like this, and at the end just return res. So let me format this. Let's run the same example. This one is really interesting, by the way, right? So we see the same thing. Even if the one of them is just a single value like this, this will be handled as well. So anyway, thank you.